Hello and welcome to the show. We are back in the Destruction Desert trying to cross it with a variety of different vehicles, starting with a covert. Aside from the Harlequin bodywork on this one, it is basically a stock covert, 1.5 manual. Now, it's not massively fast, it's not, well, it's front-wheel drive, it's not got all-wheel drive to help climb over the sand dunes, so it is not exactly ideally suited to the desert terrain. However, our challenge is to try and get it some 6 or so miles across some quite nasty sand dunes. Our current leader, the car that's made the furthest, was the Legrand. That made 4.2 miles before that engine overheated and gave up the Ghost. Oh, the Covet's already lost a bumper. That didn't take long. If that bumper could just fall free, indeed it has. That's quite nice. Yeah, the Legrand was pretty good actually. It took a long time for that engine to give up the Ghost. I don't know how long we'll last with the cover. The radiator, let's face it, is likely to conk out at some point. Oh, carefully does it down there. There's no real other way. Certainly not for a car like this over this sort of initial section. After this initial section, we do have a little bit of free reign. We're probably going to take... This hasn't really got the off-road capabilities to try too riskier, too... dangerous a route, if you like. We're going to have to kind of go through... We're going to go through this sort of main trench and hope for the best. Once we get out of these kind of trench sections, we move in... Oh, that's a big drop. Oh, I don't know. Like, when I've started going down one of these crests and I realise we're going to hit the floor, I don't know whether I'm better off trying to steer so we hit the floor with a wheel or not. Because if we hit the floor with a wheel, we run the risk of snapping a wheel axle. If we hit the floor dead on with the front, we won't snap a wheel axle, but we'll puncture the radiator. I guess the radiator is probably the better thing to have go, because the radiator isn't an insta-death. The wheel axle gone, that will be game over for, well, probably for this. I wouldn't imagine the diff in it would work. I don't think the Harlequin's got a different diff, and the radiator's gone. I don't even know how the radiator's gone there. That doesn't make it... Never mind. I mean, I guess the radiator's gone. Now we've got to... Oh, maybe not go for it that much. So, with the radiator gone, coolant is going to start spilling out of the car. We will overheat. Now, some cars can get away with driving for a while out here before they overheat. The engines aren't preheated, so they stand a little bit more of a chance of surviving the journey, really. But we've got to try and keep momentum up without stressing the engine too much, and that's a difficult thing to do when you've got, well, all of these dunes, you've got all of these bumps that the car is constantly being thrown around on, and just got to try and pick a route through here. We don't really want big air time, but we don't necessarily want lots of little jumps. So we didn't want big airtime, doesn't mean we're not going to find it. The suspension on the Corvette is actually doing a pretty good job. That is some big airtime right there. Oh, we're going to go over. Actually, I've got to be very, very mindful. I don't want to be steering if we're tumbling, because I don't want my wheels turned and run the risk of snapping something. If we're going to roll over, I'm allowed to recover the cars if they get stuck on their roof. It's probably better. Like, as much as my brain is shouting to kind of try and not that it matters when it's actually rolled over, but yeah, as much as your brain kind of shouts to try and counter steer stuff. Oh, that's another big crest. We've lost... I actually started down... We've got some clonking going on with one of the rear wheels, which is peculiar. It's now not very circular, but never mind. We'll keep going along here. That is a smooth... It was not quite as smooth as I would have liked. Ooh, we've bent up a front wheel. Are we going to be... I'm not sure this was a good call. Oh, that was not a good call! Holy crap, where did that come from? Oh, that's... I'm sorry, Covert. I had no idea. I thought this was joined all along the top. Oh, Covert, that's not good. I mean, it's still going. You know what? You have my respect for still being able to keep going when that's happened to the back of you. Like, if this was a rear-wheel drive car, that's day over. That's dead. This was a rear-wheel drive car, that would be done for. That is... I'm amazed that wheel is even still connected to the car. Now, this is going to make life difficult for us. I'm going to be honest. This is going to make life all very difficult for us. Not only are we more awkward to drive, we've got a lot of added resistance going on here, and I've got to work the engine harder. We're already getting close to start having issues. In fact, what we might end up seeing is our car getting beached with this level of damage, with the bent chassis and so on. This might get stuck somewhere if it doesn't overheat beforehand. I mean, I think it will might be the overheating, or we might fly off and jump wonky again and suddenly find, oh, come on, keep up some speed. Oh, this engine is not going to last. This engine is not going to last very well with overheating somehow. I mean, like, overheating might kill it. I think it's got bigger problems than that, quite frankly. It's got a lot of problems. It's got a lot of problems going on. As the engine does get more and more damaged, we then do struggle with speed considerably. Oh, are we going to get going again? Oh, come on, Cover, you can do it. Yeah, as the engine gets more and more damaged, we struggle to actually maintain speed over any jumps to kind of do more damage to the car. We might actually get stuck in a point where we can't keep moving forward. While the engine is still technically working, you just can't pull the car up another hill. All this stuff. That front left is looking dodgy. I'll be amazed if the front left survives it to the point of overheating in some ways, especially when you've got to this point of I've just got to go for it, because otherwise we're not going to have momentum anywhere. We're almost up to the 3-mile mark, though. If we could make it 3 miles, considering the state of this car, it's probably the worst. Oh, that's a big jump. It's probably the worst condition car we've had so far in this. And then the other ones, of course, got battered on their journey, but not quite. Oh, I guess the 200BX was on fire, which is something. Oh, I think that's the engine gone. It has still got some movement to it. Quite. I'm impressed. I thought that was the engine conked out for good right there. It is seriously struggling now, though, for anything. I can see the airfield. Oh, we're going to just die here. That's the engine gone. I mean, it's quite a cinematic place of death. I will give the car that much. It is quite a cinematic place of death. And I mean, it was a spectacular crash. You know, again, in the grand scheme of things, if you're going to go out, that's a hell of a... It's a hell of a looking out. There's a lot of smoke coming out of that. 2.9 miles. 2.9 miles for the Cover. It's better going, certainly, than I thought it was when it fell over. Wow. That is a mess of a car. Up next, we move from one of the smallest cars in the game to one of the larger. This is the D-Series Beast. Yes, it is massive. It is designed for off-roading. In fact, we have got diff locks, we've got a high and low range gearbox, we've got all sorts of bits and pieces designed for dealing with off-roading. However, there are some disadvantages, strangely, in that, well, yes, the suspension is designed to deal with the sort of terrain that we are going to be tackling. We've got a very powerful engine. One of the big problems that you might potentially see is that, well, there's a lot of ground clearance. That makes the truck higher. That centre of mass is therefore very high, and that means that we do sometimes topple over quite easily. It's also considerably easy to get carried away with the amount of speed that you can take over some crests, over some jumps. So we have got to be a smidge mindful of all of that. I think, though, we have got the off-road capabilities to try, potentially different route. I'm thinking we're going to go to the left. We're going to go round that sort of big dune you see in front of us. We're going to go around that to the left. We should be good to do that, and then we can make progress the other side. It's got like these channels that go on. Oh, that's a big old dip there. These channels that go on through the desert early on before we get to the smooth plateau further down. The radiator on this is, you know, pretty strong and pretty difficult to get to, but if you do get to it, you know, it's still going to leak. You still can clonk the front on the floor and get that radiator leaking, and again, engine will overheat eventually at some point. The other thing you've got to be mindful of is losing wheels. Wheels can ping off of these vehicles as they're bouncing around, and that soft suspension can sometimes make the bouncing worse. Can we climb up over that? This is going to be a test of the beast. Will you live up to your name? Yep. Oh, okay, that's a nasty dip. All right, yeah, this route is not for the small cars. In fact, it's not for the big cars either. Really? I thought that would be fine getting down that. I mean, we clonked the front a smidge. Oh, for God's sake. Bloody radiator's gone in it now. Now we have to be, let's say, brave. Now we've got to kind of go for it. We've got to make distance. We can't really mess around too much. God damn it, nothing's even really made it a mile before radiators have gone on this stuff. Oh, that's going to be a awkward bounce. Okay, we're fine. We've lost some bodywork. I mean, all of the doors are flapping. Don't think... I mean, kind of the doors are flapping. The boot tailgate, the top bit's flapping. The bottom bit hasn't come loose yet, but if that comes off, then we have literally got every openable part flapping around at the same time. Okay, truck, let's just try and, well, make some progress. Oh, I mean, that would have taken the radiator out. These kind of sudden... Oh, actually, that was an even worse sudden drop, sudden fall over. Oh, that's not what I want to grab. Oh, the beast's very, very heavy. Okay, now I'm allowed to right the vehicles, however I'm not allowed to turn the engine off. So the kind of the punishment for rolling a vehicle is that the engine might take some damage from oil starvation and so on. Yeah, that's the punishment they get for rolling over. I'll try and roll it over as quickly as possible. This thing is not easy to roll back over again, as it is a giant vehicle. We're going to go for, again, plenty of power down here. The engine is starting to get alarmingly hot. It might actually go out quicker than some of the other cars. I'd be kind of surprised. Normally the V8s are not bad for... Oh, he's supercharged, though. We've got to bear that one in mind. The V8s are already pretty sturdy. We've seen it on the Grand Marshal. They can run for ages with coolant gone and overheating and whatnot. However, the supercharged version that we have in this might not quite be so kind. No, okay, we're good to get down there. We can then stick our foot down, up over the other side, hopefully. I don't think there's going to be a sudden drop. Let's say that. It's always... famous last words and everything. I mean, with the radiator gone, we can kind of just clonk the front on the floor as much as we like. So some of these I am being more aggressive than I would perhaps have been before. Alright, this is a very, very big dip that I've got to be a bit mindful of. Yeah, some of these that will kill radiators and so on. We should get up that, no problem. Got the suspension travel to do it. Perfect. Now, up and around. Oh, hello. Little bit of a clonk on the floor, but, you know, we're still going. We're up to 2 miles. Oh, we're actually up to 2 miles, but this is in a spot of bother, is the D-Series. The very hot engine is not helping that. I mean, like, everything else mechanically, working pretty well. Working pretty well. I think we've got to... well, do sort of minimum efforts to keep it moving. Unfortunately, a lot of these dunes have been pretty... they've been pretty nasty. Oh, the front... I mean, I've noticed how... just now noticed how low the front of this is getting. Oh, that's a very, very big drop. That's not where I want to be going. Like, a lot of these hits would have killed a wheel axle on something else. This, to be fair, this doesn't actually quite have as much ground clearance as the likes of the Hopper or something to begin with. But yeah, we are kind of bending the chassis in the middle, which is a little bit alarming. Oh, that's a big clonk on the front of the car. Head gasket is damaged. We are at 2.4 miles into the journey with this. I'm now trying to go use minimal throttle, but it's still going to get into trouble across these dunes. Perhaps some of the other, well, say some of the other issues with this, because it is very capable around here, where other cars might be struggling, this thing can still carry silly speeds. So you're actually now hitting bumps and crests a lot harder with this than perhaps you would have seen from the Covet, from the Legrand, and the 200BX, and so on. I think we are running out of power. I think we're running out of power. I think it's locked. I think it's done. Oh, the D-Series is a goner. Not great from the D. I'm going to be honest. It's not great. It's not great from the D series. I'm kind of surprised the engine went out as fast as it did. Actually, also amazed that the driveline didn't snap, considering the angle the front of the truck is very, very bent up. As I was trying to make distance before it inevitably died. It's a very, very dead truck, and a very buckled truck. I would not want to be in this truck, let's be honest. The final vehicle to go today is the ETK K-Series. I've gone with a fairly basic 6-cylinder version of the car. Now these are, well, the ETKs, the modern ones, are quite notorious for the old, very, very weak wheels. They're very bad for pinging off of the car. So we've got to be a little bit mindful of them. That is a concern. I guess sort of drive shaft. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a sports car. I think this is a rear-wheel drive version of the K-Series as well. So this is a sports car that is, you know, low-slung, stiffly sprung, going to be driving across a very bumpy desert. Now, there are many things that can go wrong with this one. I don't expect this to be a radiator failure. Well, I mean, I expect the radiator to fail. I don't expect it to be overheating that's going to knock this car out. I think there is a lot of other things, from drive shaft to wheel axles to actual just total engine failure if the engine gets hit across one of these bumps. I mean, I could be wrong, and at the end of the day, this might go further than anything else before the radiator gets punctured. That's the joy of this kind of thing. You never really know. We're actually just currently not really got much control. That was more skiing through, so that was just sort of slaloming our way through some sand dunes because there was not much I could do. I don't really want to be in first gear. I think that's going to overheat this perhaps a little bit too much. Oh, that's going to be a clonk. No, that's surprisingly that was okay with it. Surprisingly, of all of the cars, that little bump was taken out. Well, bumps like that have taken out radiators and all sorts of stuff. The K-Series, that's fine. That's fine with all of this. We are literally just slaloming our way around here. I mean, it's a viable technique if it works, which it is. It is working. I mean, the front bumper's not really very happy, but otherwise, oh, there's gonna be a big dip here. Oh, come on, get out the other side, car. I don't really want to go back down into. I say I don't want to go back down into first. At the moment, we're okay in terms of temperature. Come on, can you really make a mile before the radiator gives up? I probably shouldn't say that when we're going through what is quite a nasty little bit of the course. I'm impressed. I'm damn impressed with the K-Series. Yeah, we've done a mile, and we have not had a radiator give up in the car. I mean, it's hit as many bad bumps as all of the other cars, pretty much, and it keeps on going. I mean, that's good news for the vehicle in one regard. I mean, still got massive concerns about the wheels and drive shaft, should and when, because you know it's going to get bumpier. Well, it's going to get bumpier. I'm going to misjudge a crest somewhere like that, for example, and we are going to go flying through the air. The bumper has come off, and the front right wheel is now unhappy. Right, we're going back to the skiing technique. Oh, the skiing technique has ended up in a sideways technique. I mean, steering. Oh, we might burn out the clutch doing this as well. Again, we haven't seen a clutch failure. Up to 1.5 miles in terms of distance. The steering is now not great. Steering isn't great, but out here, I mean, steering is still important, don't get me wrong. We can't do the slaloming quite as well if the steering goes. However, because we don't have a strict course to follow, oh, this is looking bad now for the suspension. Okay, I've ended up where I didn't want to end up. This time I was able to stop, kind of. That front wheel isn't good. That front wheel is actually gone now, completely. Bugger, when did that go? When did that give up the ghost? Yeah, steering is less important out here as it has been at, the racetracks and the circuits, because we are a little bit more freeform in our direction of travel, but we do still need to be able to move forward, basically. We might have to try and head... we're going to have to kind of head left here and hope that we can get the car. We can steer the car. Yeah, this is going to start getting awkward now. This is going to start getting quite difficult on the old travel. We can't really slalom anymore, and I've got to try and keep momentum up so that when we do get to a crest, we can climb over it, and we're going to just end up going where the car wants us to go, which, if it's in the right direction, that's okay. If it's in the wrong direction, it's going to lead to... Oh, impact detected. No, don't stop the car there, you moron. Impact's fine. Nothing happened. I mean, I like that was the first impact that the kind of sensor system detected on this car. I love that that was the first impact that it detected after all of the clonking and broken suspension. Oh, please turn left. Okay, we're going to use the banking here to try and turn us left. There are some, well, the hill. There are some dangers in using hills to turn your car. There are some pretty big dangers. Oh, crap. Like this one, for example, where we're just going to end up pinging down there in a random direction. Oh, are we done? No, we are not done. That's just the diff. Now it's just the diff doing weird, or the terrain doing weird things with the diff. It's fine. Oh, that's a bit of a jump. Still, the radiator's okay with it. We're 2.3 miles in. This is the furthest anything's ever got by a long way, and well, before the radiator's given up by a very long way. And this is not so much me being. I mean, I've done a half decent job with the route. I think ground hitbox has given up on us, hasn't it? Okay, as per the rules, I am allowed to recover the car out of here with a ground hitbox being wonky. Sorry to the rear bumper of the car, but it is a necessary... Oh. Okay, I mean, I pulled the boot lid off slightly by accident. We've got a little problem here. Car, just hold that thought. You... Okay, I mean, you've pinged not the way I wanted you to, but you have pinged at least kind of clear. Car... Oh... Bloody hell. Got to be very, very mindful here that we don't break the car more than we absolutely have to. I don't want to break the car having to try and recover it, but, you know, it's the risks we take in trying to recover the stuck cars. There's not much else I can do. Okay, K-Series, we're up to 2.5 miles. Oh, but literally any of these crests, if we hit the front left... Oh, I'm going backwards again, because the steering's given us serious grief. I guess we're going to go somewhere backwards, are we? Oh, that's probably not a good idea, is it? Come on, we can free ourselves. This is struggling now. We are very, very badly struggling on the we are a little bit stuck on a lot of this. Now we could imagine we could get out and push the car, so again I'm allowing sort of shunting slightly to get it free on those. Oh, that's reverse. That's not the gear I wanted for. Come on, spin around, and then we'll get some more forward momentum. We will kind of crash our way up here. God, really struggling. I mean, it's... I would much prefer that wheel fell off the car than what it's currently doing. Because it's, you know, sitting around there now pinging us from side to side. It's kind of randomly steering for us. Don't go over this way. What are you doing, K-Series? You've got a mind of your own. You want to go backwards? You want to go forwards? You don't really know what you want. You're getting stuck on some more terrain. Come on. Around we go. Yeah. I mean, if I could clonk that wheel off, I would be very happy with that. As it is, I'm stuck with half-hearted steering, and that's about it. Oh, we're stuck with half-hearted steering and a stupid diff. Come on. I mean, it could be worse. If this was the all-wheel drive version of the car, that wheel would be driving and then dragging us in a direction, which would not be good. I've basically got the car pointed straight and I've got to boot it. I can't believe we made it over 3 miles. It's made it the furthest of anything in this episode. It's still bloody going as well, although it's not... It's not really having a fun time here, is it? That's not so much it's stuck on terrain, that's it really wedged on some rocks. Or wonky terrain, that is just the car is giving up. I cannot drive this thing much further. It's going to get to the point where I'm going to give up with steering. There we go. We've got a run. Oh, we've just about made it. Come on, I'm booting it and either hoping we A, crash and snap the wheel off, or we've just got to go. If we've got it pointing in the direction of travel we want, we just need to go that way for as long as possible before we have to do a big old slow down and reset the car. It's not ideal, but it's the best I've got. I'm just working with what we've got here. The clutch might hate me. I mean, when my front wheel's doing what my front wheel is doing, it's currently going this way. I don't really care too much. Just gotta go. We've gotta go. It's actually very, very close to amazingly becoming the furthest distance anything has travelled down here. Despite the fact one wheel has been completely useless for a very large amount of time. That might have broken... No, the other wheel's still good. I don't know how. I have no idea. The radiator should not be surviving. Oh no! I've lost all steering. All steering's gone. I was about to say I have no idea how that radiator is surviving that, but all of my steering is gone. Made it 4 miles. It made it 4 miles before all steering ceased to work. And that is that. Yeah, it got so bad at the end, it was just go as fast as you can in the hope of just covering distance. Trying to do that slowly didn't work because you just fought the wheel so much and you got stuck on the hills, so it was just a boot it and hope for the very, very best. And in the end, that kills the wheels. Still though, 4 miles, not a single radiator leak. On to the results, and it is a mighty impressive showing from that K-Series. The Legrand will still lead the way, but the K-Series getting second, being so close. A vehicle notorious for weak wheels, a radiator that never burst on the car whatsoever. That's a mighty impressive distance, but it isn't quite enough to lead this series. Not so good for the Covert down in 5th place with its, well, overheating engine, not helped by the fact that it was dragging, well, most of the rear left corner along for for a good half of that journey. That doesn't help matters. The D-Series, to be fair to it, I did go a different route, and that was a lot more difficult route for the D-Series. That being said, I mean, the radiator got knocked out. However, the K-Series suffered a lot more blows to important areas, and that radiator never gave up. The D-Series, once the radiator was gone, that huge engine did get pretty damn hot pretty damn quickly, and yeah, eventually gave up. It was also quite an impressive bend we got going on. I don't know how long it would have been until that actually started scraping the floor and getting very, very stuck. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description, so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.